Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is my card for our second Fab5 YouTube hop. Like last time, this hop consists of 5 smaller YouTube card makers, each one with a love of all things Lawn Fawn. For my card, I'll be using the Would You Be Mine and Pizza My Heart stamp sets. The theme is love of new and old Lawn Fawn. I don't tend to have a recipient in mind while making cards, but since I was making a love card, I decided to make an anniversary card for my husband. I tend to struggle a bit with masculine cards, but this was easier once I had my husband in mind. See, he loves pizza. He could eat pizza every night of the week and be happy about it. He passed this love of pizza to our boys. I don't love it as much as they do, but I will share a pizza with him while the boys split one. So with that in mind, I knew I'd have to do something with pizza and also something with some of the new Lawn Fawn products. Using lazy partial masking, I stamped half of the log from the Would You Be Mine stamp set and then masked off that end, leaving a gap and stamping the other end. My goal here was just to make this look like a log again, but a much longer one. I used a ruler to fill in the outline with a Copic Save fine liner and then filled in the missing bark lines. In the end, a lot of this doesn't actually show, and I knew the top wouldn't, so I didn't bother filling that all in. The next stamp editing I had to do was turn the heart that these beavers are holding into a pizza. The Pizza My Heart stamp set actually has a heart-shaped pizza in it, so it seemed like the logical next step. After drawing the crust lines, I took my chili pepper Lawn Fawn ink cube and stamped out a few pepperonis from the Pizza My Heart set. My husband is very opposed to vegetables, so this pizza didn't require much. While stamping out the cattails, I realized I needed a couple of different ones so they didn't look odd in the scene. So I pulled out another new stamp set, So Damn Much. I also decided to add some water since cattails grow around water. For that I am using the water from Dad Plus Me, inked in Fish Tank ink. Moving on to the background, I'm taking a large mini slimline panel and inking clouds on it with Salty Ocean Distress Oxide. I'm just going from the bottom to the top, trying to keep it fairly light, but I also don't want a lot of white spaces, so once I ink all the way up to the top, I am going to kind of use what's left on my brush to fill in some of the stark white areas. Once this was done, I decided I would add a little bit of extra interest with this heart stencil. I'm just going to use what was left on my brush, and I'm going to ink up these hearts. It's a very subtle thing, but it does add some interest to the background. Now, I don't actually want my finished card to be a slimline card, as I didn't feel like I'd have enough room for all of the elements. So I have a second slimline panel, the exact same size as the one before, and I'm taking my Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide, and I'm inking the whole panel, kind of keeping it darker at the bottom and a bit lighter at the top. Next, I'm taking the Grassy Hillside border dies, and I'm going to pick one I like and cut that out, keeping the most space I can. Next, I have Rustic Wilderness Distress ink, and I'm going to water it down and add some splatters to the grass. You guys have seen me do this plenty of times before if you've been here. I just like the interest that it gives to the grass. While I color, I'd like to announce that the giveaway for this hop is generously sponsored by none other than Lawn Fawn. To enter, you must leave a comment on each of the 5 videos in the hop by February 4th, 2023 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. One comment at each video will count as one entry to win, so you have a chance for 5 entries. The winner will be selected at random to receive a $25 gift certificate to the Lawn Fawn website. All of the information for this giveaway will be left in the description box below, along with the other hop videos. And as always, the links to all the items that I used in this video you know, especially in case you are the winner and you decide you would like to use something that I used today. And another thing, if you haven't checked out any of the other ladies that are in this YouTube hop before, I would definitely recommend watching them. They are all really talented and great people. So just a little note here, I am using Copics on this blue ink. This blue ink is not Copic safe, so it, I guess, poses a risk that it might get on the marker. I didn't really mind as long as it doesn't mess up the marker, but I mean, to be fair, a lot of my Copics are already on the way out, unfortunately. But this hasn't caused me any issues yet. So next I'm pulling out the Let's Toast add-on die set to make this card interactive, because it's been a little while since I made an interactive card. I'm not going to go through the whole process with you of how to use this die set, because it's not a new one, and I know there are several videos that cover that. What I'm trying to accomplish here is to get the little beavers behind it. Originally, I thought maybe I would cover them completely, and then I thought it would be cute if they were just barely poking out from the pizza boxes. So, trying to figure that out. At this point, I have the grass panel attached to the cloud panel, and I'm cutting out the little pull tab pieces. I should have used a thicker cardstock for the actual pull tab itself, because if it is a little bit flimsy, it does make it hard to push back down without it kind of bending on itself. I'd say this is a pretty easy die to use, but because it's been so long since I had used an interactive die, this one specifically, I somehow struggled with it. Like this part I didn't really have that big of an issue with, other than the fact that I needed to add some reinforcement cardstock to the back of the pull tab, because pushing it down, like I said, it was just folding in on itself a little bit, and it didn't make for a very smooth transition. So in order to fix this, I just took another piece of that same cardstock, cut it out into that same rectangle, large skinny rectangle, and then I just adhered it to the back just to reinforce it a bit. After that, that was enough to get it to, not buckle. I still ended up having issues though, because, well, I usually do, but when I'm as excited about making a card as this one, I tend to get a little ahead of myself, and I don't necessarily think things completely through before I do them, so I make some silly errors. So you'll see that in a little bit, and I managed to fix it and not start over, which thankfully I didn't really want to have to do all that work all over again. At this point, it was already getting a little bit later than I would have liked it to be. So I'm just going to stamp the first part of my sentiment, and I am masking it off a little bit because I don't want, well, I guess there's not really enough room for the full sentiment in the spot I was going to put it without it running into the little pull tab. So I did have to break it up a little bit. And oh yeah, there we go. I didn't stamp it down hard enough. I did fill that in with one of my fine liner markers. Thankfully, enough of it was stamped where it wasn't me trying to write with my atrocious handwriting. And then I'm just stamping the rest of the sentiment right underneath it. Now, I have more sentiment to make. So I put I choose you. And I did not check placement before I did this, which was a huge mistake. So here, as you can see, if I have my pizza and log exactly where I want it, it covers it up. So me being real special, I was like, it's fine, I'll just stamp over it. So here I have one of the little acetate pieces from a package trying to cover up the part of the sentiment that's actually on the card base that I didn't want to stamp back over. I thought that would work, but then I realized that you couldn't see it very well, and the log itself was not going to move. So I stamped it in red above that, and now I'm going to try to figure out, after I get my log adhered with some foam tape, just to give the beavers some room to move around. Yeah. Works fine, but now I have to figure out how I'm covering that up. So I have my little lake or whatever. I decided I would add half of it there, using the other half on the other side, kind of even it out a little. And then ultimately I decided I needed to add some more grass. One, because of the level of the log looked a little weird on the card, it being the only thing popped up. And then two, this helped cover up some more of that mistake I made. To further cover it up, I'm just using some cattails, and I covered it up that way. You can still kind of see my mess up, but ultimately I don't think you would really notice it was there unless you knew, because I pointed it out. So the last little details I'm going to add are some clouds and a sun. This was stuff that was already die cut from, what was it, the pop-up platform add-on. I'll have that linked. And then I decided the finishing touches would be some hearts. So my whole card is, no matter how you slice it, I choose you. And then you pull up the little tab, and then the beavers pop up from behind the pizza box with their little heart pizza. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and the whole hop. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye!